Let's please take our seats. Okay, welcome to this evening's meeting. We're going to have our invocation by the Reverend Howard Johnson of Jonesboro First United Methodist Church of Jonesboro, be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And as we are standing, Pastor, we find ourselves in another situation where we're asking you to pray for the victims in Texas of the massacre. So please.
Got it. Let us pray. Our God and our Heavenly Father, we are reminded in Holy Scriptures that petitions, prayers, intercession, and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings and all those in authority, that we may live peaceful and quiet lives in all godliness and holiness. This is good and pleases God our Savior. In obedience to these words, we thank you for each and every member of our County Board of Commissioners. We pray for their families, their safety, and your special anointing as they serve us, the community, each and every day. Watch over them and give them renewed courage, strength, humility, and wisdom. May they find purpose and joy in performing their daily duties. We know that they face many challenges as the leaders of this great county. Nevertheless, remind them often that they're not alone. You are with them, and we, the residents, pledge to continue to do our part to make their jobs a source of joy and success. Remind them that as they succeed, we too succeed. As they face the numerous challenges of this county, even with disagreements, give them unity of mind and heart, that they will know your blessings as they do that which is good and just and fair. As members of the clergy here in this great city of Jonesboro, we pledge to continue to pray for them and to bless and encourage each and every resident we meet, especially in such a time like this, when our nation is going through so much turmoil. Remember especially the families of those affected by the recent tragedy in Texas. Lord, continue, we pray, to give grace in that situation. We thank you, God, for this great county and ask that you'll keep us focused on you so that your blessings will not go unnoticed. We ask your blessings always on these, our leaders, your people, and I pray these things in the mighty and precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with
with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening to everyone, and welcome to the November 7th, 2017 regular business meeting. The first order of business is the adoption of the agenda. Does any member want to offer any amendments?
Madam Clerk, number 8, the presentation regarding the Development Authority by Mr. Clark. There's a scheduling conflict due to the municipal elections this evening, and I'd like to take that off the agenda, bring it back at a later date.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Are there any further amendments?
Madam Clerk, number 26, the appointment to the Development Authority. There's some ongoing conversations. I'd like to hold that over till the next meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Are there any further amendments? Hearing none, may we have a motion to adopt the agenda with the approved amendments?
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
The board has 3 proclamations to present this evening. The first, Clayton County recognizes the Clayton Seniors Golden Olympic recipients. If the recipients would please come forward, as well as Tori Strader Tanks, the Senior Services Director, as well as any other staff members, as the commissioners join you for the presentation of the proclamation. We'll first have photographs, and then we'll have the reading of the proclamation. Clayton County recognizes the Clayton Seniors Golden Olympic recipients. Whereas Clayton County is proud to honor and congratulate 10 award recipients from the 35th Annual Georgia Senior Olympics. MacArthur Jones, silver medal in billiards. George Sells, gold medal in billiards. Dorothy Davidson Owens, bronze medal in the 100-meter run, bronze medal in the 50-meter run, and a silver medal in long jump. Willie Townsend, silver medal in the 100-meter run and a gold medal in the 50-meter run. Dorothy Reeves, gold medal in the 5,000-meter run and a gold medal in the 1,500-meter run. Adrielle P. Tigner, silver medal in billiards, a gold medal in checkers, and a gold medal in horseshoe toss. Linda T. Davis, silver medal in the 100-meter run. Betty Simmons, silver medal in shuffleboard and a gold medal in the 5K walk. Alan Moore, gold medal in the 5,000-meter race walk, and Carol Lumley, gold medal in the 100-yard and 200-yard freestyle swimming. And whereas the 35th Annual Georgia Golden Olympics was held September 27, 2017 through September 30, 2017 in the city of Warner Robins, Georgia. The annual competition is open to adults ages 50 and older. The Olympic events include tennis, golf, swimming, track and field, cycling, bowling, 5K run, walk, horseshoes, billiards, and much more. Events are divided into age categories and medals are awarded for each category. And whereas the purpose of the Golden Olympics is to create an awareness of the abilities of older adults, to maintain and improve health and wellness, and to promote an interest in lifetime sports, recreation, and physical activity. And whereas the Georgia Golden Olympics is a qualifying site for the National Senior Games Association and qualifies athletes in even years for the national competition held in odd years. The 2018 Georgia event will be the qualifying games for the 2019 National Games in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And whereas this year Clayton County Senior Services Department had a total of 10 seniors to compete at the state games, bringing home a total of 9 gold medals, 5 silver medals, and 2 bronze medals. Senior Services' goal is to increase participation by implementing Clayton County Senior Olympics, which will prepare seniors for the state Olympics, which will ultimately lead to participation in the national games. And whereas the Board of Commissioners congratulates the 10 award recipients and commends them on choosing a healthy and active lifestyle. Our seniors are the jewels of this beloved county,
and now you are also our Clayton champions. Now therefore, I, Jeffrey Turner, Chairman, on behalf of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, do hereby support and proudly acknowledge the 2017 Georgia Senior Golden Olympic recipients for a job well done. And witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of Clayton County, Georgia, to be affixed this 7th day of November in the year 2017. Jeffrey E. Turner, Chairman.
Everywhere I go, I always tell the people that we have the biggest, baddest seniors in the state.
I was just told that you have the world's champion. And the next proclamation, Clayton County congratulates North Clayton Middle School as the 2017 Clayton County Middle School football champions, as presented. As presented by Commissioner Hambrick. And we do have our champions here this evening. Chad Garner. Chad Garner, please come forward. And this are the football champions roster. Yes, we're gonna call them one by one. Trayshawn Chapman. Marcus Tutt. Caden Wright. Caleb Niles. LeBron Hardy. Elijah Chung. Christian Upshaw. Cortez Freeman. Damian Chung. Jaden Jones. Jamari James. Kylan Crawford. Jamarian Bellinger. And Montrell Henderson. And Kedrian Bell. And we have head coach Corey Washington. Assistant coaches Kermit Foster, Carl Casey, and Marcus West. And these are your coaches and assistant coaches for the 2017 Clayton County Middle School football champions. And we will now have photographs.
All right, group, back here on three. 1,
If we can have the parents, please come forward. Yes, please have the parents come forward as well.
While they're coming up, we have our superintendent and our school board member. Please give them a hand. Proud school board member.
And now the reading of the proclamation.
Clayton County honors the North Clayton Middle School Tigers as the 2017 countywide football champions. Whereas the Mighty Tigers of North Clayton Middle School's football squad finished the 2017 season undefeated as the countywide champions. The 6-0 regular season led to the playoffs, where on Tuesday, October 24th at Terra Stadium, North Clayton Middle School was victorious over Eddie White Academy in a 12-0 play for county champion. And whereas, under the leadership of head coach Corey Washington, assistant coaches Kermit Foster, Carl Casey, and Marcus West, the Fighting Tigers established a spirit of pride and excellence. Immediately after the coin toss, Principal Shakira Rice took part in a unity shake to symbolize that both teams will be unified and show good sportsmanship throughout the game. The Tigers took an early lead of 6-0 within the first quarter. While both teams played a great game, North Clayton held their own offensively and came out on top by scoring again in the fourth quarter. Head coach Corey Washington will now coach for the North teams in the middle school football all-star game. And whereas the names of the victors are Chad Garner, Trayshawn Chapman, Marcus Tutt, Dwayne Patterson, Keon Shannon, Caden Wright, Maurice Burks, Melquan Jackson, Antonio Thigpen, Caleb Niles, Kamari Blanks, LeBron Hardy, Mustafa Kanye, Elijah Chung, Kedron Bell Jr., Jalen Scott, Azaria Jackson, Darius Tolles, Jamarion Golston, Jameek Johnson, DeMarcus Sutton, Christian Upshaw, Jameson Christian, Demorio Morton, Lamont Warner Jr., Cortez Freeman, Draython Alexander, Kanye Varner, Joseph Harris, Damian Chung, Kyrie Wright, Andrew Thompson, Jaden Jones, Jamari James, Kayvon Dismute, Dontavius Stallings, Kylan Crawford, DeQuavius Walker, Dakari Harris, Jamarion Bellinger, Keyshawn Coley, Jamari Freeman, Montrell Henderson, and Sir Isaac Benjamin. Now, therefore, I, Gail B. Hambrick, Commissioner on behalf of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, do hereby recognize the North Clayton Middle School Tigers, as well as the coaches, parents, support staff, and administrative staff who assisted the team with becoming shining ambassadors for Clayton County. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of Clayton County, Georgia, to be affixed this 7th day of November in the year 2017. Gail B. Hambrick, Commissioner.
You all get a chance, look at the t-shirts, look at the scores on the back. How many people were zero?
And the last proclamation for this evening. And the final proclamation for this evening, Clayton County recognizes November 2017 as National Parental Involvement Month, as presented by Commissioner Gregory. If we could have the Clayton County School Parent Liaisons come forward.
Let's keep the noise going, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, yeah.
And now the reading of the proclamation.
Clayton County recognizes Parental Involvement Day and Parent Engagement Month. Whereas November 16, 2017 is Parental Involvement Day and November is Parent Engagement Month, several activities are planned to recognize the contributions of parents across the nation, to encourage school involvement, and to raise awareness of the important roles parents play in a child's education. Parent engagement is needed in a child's education from pre-K to grade 12. And whereas Parent Engagement Month highlights the many opportunities available for educators, families, students, and community members to engage in partnerships with the goal of improving student academic achievement. Each year, schools and communities across the nation strengthen and celebrate family engagement throughout the month of November. And whereas Clayton County citizens believe that education is the gateway to a brighter future for our children and our county, Clayton County is committed to excellence in education and recognizes the importance of family participation in the pursuit of excellence and high performance. Parent engagement can take place at home and at school. Through active, ongoing engagement with their children, parents have the power to ensure their children succeed in achieving their academic goals. And whereas Clayton County Public Schools is fortunate to have parent liaison positions in every Clayton County school. Parent liaisons work with parents by providing ongoing workshops to show them how to help their children with academics at home. Parent liaisons provide educational strategies for parents, work to build capacity, and to link family engagement to learning. And whereas on National Parental Involvement Day, parent liaisons will encourage parents and family engagement by hosting various events such as Take Your Parents to School Day, Muffins for Moms, Donuts for Dads, volunteer opportunities, and other activities. Parental Involvement Day, parent liaisons believe that parent partnerships are powerful, and by working directly with their children's schools and teachers, parents can build a strong foundation on which their children will thrive. Now, therefore, I, Sona Singleton Gregory, on behalf of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, do hereby affirm Clayton County's recognition of November as Parent Engagement Month and November 16, 2017 as Parental Involvement Day in Clayton County. I call upon all citizens to observe this month and day supporting activities that help meet the goals of increasing overall student achievement through parent engagement. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of Clayton County, Georgia, to be affixed this 7th day of November in the year 2017. Sona Singleton Gregory, Commissioner.
Right, is that one thing left now? Attendance presentation.
The board would now hear an update on the Clayton County Public Schools as presented by Dr. Maurice Beasley, the superintendent.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Commissioner Turner, Gregory, Warner. It's so good to see Commissioner Hambrook and Edmondson. Thank you all for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Commissioner Turner and I discussed an opportunity to basically come and share with our community where we are in our school system as we work toward higher levels of performance. I'd like to acknowledge, as I look around the room, so many individuals that are supporting us in this work, from your department heads, division chairs that are employed by the county, to parents that are in the audience, our principals that are here, our staff members. I'd like all of the employees that are here, if you would stand, school system employees. Let's give them a hand. We're very proud of North Clayton Middle School. Keep up the good work. We like to win.
All right.
But I'm going to be very quick. I know how it goes at this time of night.
Amen.
Thank you.
But our purpose is basically just to share some critical information with you. And I think it's very important, commissioners, that we as a community get the word out about what's happening in our school system.
Definitely.
Let's
Yes,
remember that
yes.
the school system is the engine of the economic
Yep.
the economic engine of this county.
That's right.
As we perform at higher levels, so will this county thrive at higher levels.
right.
Let's all remember that. So very quickly, I'd just like to share, if you've been to any of the community forums, you know that there are 5 areas of focus. The first one, in summary, and anyone who knows me, I will not be reading bullets to you. You can read those bullets. But in summary, the first area is instruction. If you ever want to improve a school system, if you're not talking about instruction, you're not going anywhere. And so instruction is our first priority in the areas of literacy, numeracy, critical thinking, and technology integration. The second area is our academic and wraparound support. Bottom line is, we've got to work with our students to eliminate any prior grade level deficits that they may have, while we also teach them the current grade level content. And additionally, sometimes students are impacted by things that happen outside of the classroom. Our goal is to ensure that we mitigate for those occurrences. Thirdly, professional development. The law of the lid applies here. If you want people to perform at a higher level, then you've got to perform at a higher level.
Right.
We know that as we improve our content knowledge, our pedagogy, which is our little educational word of saying strategies for instruction, and leadership capacity, we know that if you want schools to improve and consistently improve, you've got to have an effective superintendent, you've got to have an effective cabinet, you've got to have an effective central office team, and you've got to have good principals, effective principals at every one of those schools. And we're working to do just that. And fourth, the area of family and community engagement. And that's why we're here today. We've had sessions throughout the entire county since we were appointed, and we'll continue to engage our community at the classroom level, the school level, district level, and dare I say at the state level as well, when there are opportunities to do so. And lastly, the area of communication, public relations, and marketing. It's important for us as a community. If you don't tell your story, please know this: no one else will come and tell your story. Yep. And so you will see a concerted effort to tell the story. So very quickly, what I'd like to do is just highlight a few things for each of the focus areas, and I believe this may be posted. We'll post it on the district's website as well for those of you who'd like a copy of it. But clearly, for focus area number one, establishing high expectations and clear instructional practices in all content areas has been important. Incorporating a STEAM focus throughout all content areas has occurred in our school district. We're pleased to share that we're implementing career pathways in all of our high schools, and we're expanding the pathways to include the firefighter and EMT pathway at Drew High School and Mundy's Mill High School. If you've come to any of your commission meetings, you know that that's supported by this county here. Aviation pathways, this is our planning year for North Clayton High School and Morrow High School. How dare we host the world's busiest airport and not have aviation programs in our county. And political leadership pathway, that's basically to raise up young people to take you all's place, honestly.
Hey.
That's what it's all about. At every level, local, state, federal level. And then, of course, we're making sure that we ensure that in all of our CTAE coursework that employability skills are embedded. I'd like to also highlight we've implemented a tip line this year. If you have the school system app, please look at the tip line. Encourage students to use the tip line. If they're being bullied, or if they have just a personal issue, or if they have a bad interaction with an employee, they can let us know, and that goes straight to security for administrators to address. There's no reason for us to have unsafe environments in any of our schools. We're also working to address social emotional learning, restorative justice, and behavioral health. More to come in those areas. Somebody knows what that means, clearly. Yeah. Focus area number two, I've already alluded to, academic and wraparound support. We're just making sure that our kids get what they need to perform at or above grade level, and anything that impacts their learning in the classroom, we're working to mitigate that. Focus area number three, professional development. We're training up all of us, superintendent, staff, deputies, chiefs, principals, teachers. All of us have got to come to a higher level. So I want you to know that as we improve, so will our children improve. And we're focusing on, again, content, pedagogy, and leadership capacity. In the fourth area, family and community engagement, we've implemented critical conversations, community forums. Many of you have attended. We have some upcoming ones, so you'll know, for the Rex community on November 9th, Forest Park community on November 14th, and the Hampton community on November 16th. We live stream, so for those who cannot attend, you should know that we have advisories, superintendent advisories. I've listed on the PowerPoint the dates of the next advisory. We've held many first meetings for this year, but I want you to know, if you want to be involved, if you want to be engaged, if you want to be heard, if you have an opinion that you'd like to share and for it to be considered, this is an opportunity. We left the advisories open for those who are interested in attending. We did not put out any selection criteria. It's for those who want to be engaged. Please know that we're working with all of our legislative our elected officials, we're making sure that we have priorities clearly established, communicated, and that we're working toward. We're working to open up a parent center at the Perry Center, and we're collaborating with our PTA and our school councils. Please know that we're always looking to expand our partnerships, mentoring, and programming to engage our community. If you're interested in being a mentor, you don't have to pay a $45 background check anymore. We just need you to come, pass the background check, but we need you to come and mentor our children. And number 5, communication, public relations. The bottom line is we got to get the good word out about our community. If we don't share the good message about our children, please tell me who's going to come in our community and talk good about our children. And so, and I'll conclude with this. Just a few updates, and I'll stop here. This year, they released the 2017 CCRPI scores. Just in case you don't know, that's our state report card. Our state report card. I want all of you to know that right now, we had the highest increase on our state report card from one year to the next. Somebody said, well, you just became superintendent. Yeah, but tell him he was chief and school improvement officer last year. And so I think we may have had just a tad to do with the principals being supported in that work. We want you to know that we were planning for, and the staff can affirm this, we were planning for possibly 21 schools being on the governor's list based on the data, but we were working to ensure none were on the list. We're pleased to announce tonight that we only have, and many metro districts have many, we only have one school on the list. And I want you to know that one school on the list has the highest score on the list.
Wow. Okay.
Does that tell you something, Chairman? Oh, it tells you they won't be on the list next year. I can assure you of that. But we want you to know there are a few announcements there. Please know we're working diligently to serve our community, to lift up our community. As I often share with the staff, don't expect to lift yourself while you're trying to hold someone else down. We've got to lift up our children, lift up our community, and as we lift up our community, we lift ourselves, and I believe we'll lift our property values, which is very important. Thank you all.
Dr. Beasley, don't go anywhere. Some of the board members might have a statement or something further to say. The only thing I will say is that I am very encouraged about the energy you bring, about what you are, you and the staff are doing, and the principals in our schools. They're doing a tremendous job. And I really appreciate the spirit of partnership.
Yes.
You know, we always have worked with our school system, but we are doing it even more so with that much more zeal. So I thank you for that.
Thank you, Chairman.
All right.
I would like to echo that too as well, Chairman, because I will tell you, I have 4 of Clayton County students, and they're in high school and elementary school. I was actually serving at the schools as the PTA president and school council. I want to commend you on all that you've done. And when I first met you, I met you out in the community. And that speaks volumes. So I thank you for all that you've done, not just as a commissioner, but personally as children that were part of those highest scores. So they go to school every day looking forward to excelling because of you all and your staff. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I guess I need to say something, don't I? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but thank you so much. And we're looking forward to you being at the Rodenizer Recreation Center on Thursday night. And as I told Dr. Beasley several times, he's going to find that's going to be the biggest crowd he's had so far.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Dr. Beasley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
you
all.
and staff for all you do,
Yes.
especially for our children.
Thank you all.
I want to thank the school board members for selecting him.
Oh, we need to stand.
Pat yourself on the
You
back.
know, Ms. Gory's going to make sure everyone knows that everywhere she goes.
But that's all right.
But
Thank
we
you
have
so
to give
very
them the
much.
credit. Thank you all.
Thank you.
He's the first superintendent I ever said yes to, and you know, we've had quite a few.
And at this time, we will go into our consent agenda. And before I take a motion, is there any board member that would like to take any item out of the consent agenda? Yeah, yes, that's everything.
Okay.
But also includes the approval of the October 17th, 2017 regular business meeting. No, it's regular, the regular one. Okay, hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second. Are there any questions? Those in favor, aye.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I do have a question. I apologize, I'm daydreaming.
Mr. Edmondson?
Thank you, Chairman. Item number 15, the holiday hours for the Parks and Recs, libraries, and senior services centers. Mr. Stanford, could you speak to, could you clarify the closing of the parks? Is that just the facilities, or is that a chain across the entrance of International Park so that we can't go walk off that pumpkin pie after Thanksgiving?
No, sir. The request from the Parks Department and Senior Services will only include the facilities in the libraries, the facilities only. The parks will be open on those days.
International Park and the different parks, we will still be able to go in there?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay, thank you. That's the only question I had.
All right, any other questions? Hearing none. Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Edmondson?
Hey, it's our first consent agenda and reconciling this. I have a question regarding item number 20.
I think that's on the
On the
regular
regular.
agenda. Am I correct, Mr. CO?
What number is that, Chairman? 20?
Yeah.
That's correct, Mr.
Yes, the
Chairman.
consent
4,
agenda
5,
also
6.
goes from 1 to 19.
Exactly.
Through which one?
We start at human resources with Ms. Amos.
The consent
Number
agenda
11
is items
is
1
their
through
regular
19.
agenda item.
Right.
I'm
So
sorry,
that
say
means
that
the
again, because I'm
resolutions are a
totally
part of
confused.
it.
So we got items 10, and then the consent agenda,
Are not on the consent.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The consent agenda ends on page 6 at number 19. And that's the sub numbers.
I see it, okay. That's confusing.
Yeah, in the future, we just need to make sure that we notate better that the start and end of the consent agenda. Any other questions? All right, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
It's 4-1, it passes. Madam Clerk, next.
The board will now consider the request of Director of Human Resources, Pamela Ambles.
Good afternoon. Well, I should say good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chairman, Vice Chair Edmondson, Commissioners. On behalf of Transportation, well, first of all, Human Resources, we have only 2 requests. And after the request, I think the presentation, a very brief presentation, is on the agenda. But on behalf of Transportation and Development, Human Resources is requesting the modification of several positions. Transportation and Development has had several open positions for an extended period of time, and competitive compensation has been cited as a contributor to the lack of response. If approved, this request will result in a savings of $39,409 for the county. What we're requesting is the deletion of a Public Works Supervisor, grade 24, step 1, total compensation $74,873. We're requesting the reclassification of 4 positions. The first one, administrative manager, to an operations manager. Current grade and step, grade 26, step 14, total compensation $92,591. The proposed grade and step is grade 30, step 10, salary $104,994. We're also requesting to reclassify the civil engineer 3 to a public works manager, grade 28-1, $87,944. The proposed grade is grade 26, step 1, $81,084. Reclassification of an engineering technician 5 to a GIS technician of T&D, grade 20, step 1, $64,162. To grade 23, step 1, $71,991. The last reclassification is for an administrative coordinator to an administrative secretary. Grade 13, 1, $49,843 to grade 15, 1, $53,439. We're also requesting 4 grade reassignments. Chief Engineer Traffic Engineering, currently classified at grade 32, step 1, $103,889. Proposed grade is grade 31, step 1, $113,131. Chief Engineer of Engineering Services, grade 32, step 1, $103,899. To a grade 34, step 1, which is $113,131. Grade reassignment for fleet manager, grade 25, step 1 at $77,902. To grade 30, step 1, $95,520. Lastly, the landfill manager, currently classified at grade 28, step 1, which is $87,944. To grade 30, step 1, $95,520. Human Resources is also requesting the transfer of 2 positions from Community Development, Org 3301, to the Department of Information Technology, Org 1301. The classifications are CD 288, GIS Analyst, grade 28, step 1. Total compensation for that position is $81,079. And CD 294, GIS Technical Coordinator, grade 30, step 1. Total compensation for that one is $88,655. This request will strategically place resources where they can be fully utilized, and Director Brookins, he has provided a comprehensive summary of how these positions will be utilized in the Department of Information Technology, and that was highlighted on you all's legislative request.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second? I'll second the motion. Are there any questions on any of the items?
Yes, under the T&D. Okay, with all those changes, is that the $39,000 savings?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, I got
Any other questions? Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Aye.
Now, Jeff, you know that that's contingent upon those beavers, right? That's an inside joke, y'all.
Item number 12 is the discussion item. Medicare Senior Advantage renewal coverage for retirees. This will also be presented by the HR Director, Pamela Ambles.
First of all, Board, thank you so much for allowing me to give this brief presentation, and I promise it won't last but about 5 minutes. The topic is Medicare Advantage. Our Medicare Advantage is a fully insured plan that covers 425 retirees. Coverage ends for this plan on December 31st. The contribution split for this plan is 30-70. We also offer Senior Advantage to our retirees. This particular plan covers about 300 retirees. Due to the mandates of the Affordable Care Act, there is a renewal increase for 2018. The health insurance industry fee is what's driving this particular increase. The purpose of this fee is to help fund the marketplace, which is one of the goals of the ACA, is for every consumer to have access to affordable care. I'll tell the board, I do not like coming before you all requesting extra money or asking for increases. Two things I've kept in mind in regards to this is that there was no increase to Medicare Advantage last year, and this particular increase is being driven by the mandates of the ACA. I almost chop it up as the price of doing business, if you will, the price of actually offering the coverage. When you think about the ACA, go back here. Let's see. Okay. When you think about the ACA, it is a three-legged stool. As I said earlier, the main focus of ACA is to make affordable health care to every single consumer. In order to do that, the three-legged stool, you'll see the different strategies and initiatives that is used to achieve that particular goal. As I said earlier, this particular fee does help fund access to the marketplace. There are several benefits mandates that are covered under the ACA. One of the most important and popular one is the expanded coverage that is offered to for dependents. Dependents are now able to stay on the coverage until age 26. And what a lot of people may not know, it doesn't matter if that dependent is married. It doesn't matter if dependent lives on his or her own. It's just one of the mandates of the ACA. And I did say 5 minutes, so let me hurry up here. The actual cost, as I said earlier, there was no increase last year. The current yearly premium is $1,386,792. The proposed premium is $1,684,734. The difference is $297,942. Now, when you factor in the contribution split, the county cost is $208,559, and the retiree cost would be $89,382. And that's it.
Okay, go back to the last slide.
Okay. Okay. There you go.
So the cost of the retirees is $89,000.
Yes, sir.
Do we know what that does? Well, I guess you wouldn't be able to figure that out.
What's the percentages? Is that 70-30?
It is 70-30, yes, sir.
Do we know what the average percentage is per employee?
It's about a $38 per month increase for the retirees. But now that $38, that would be once again based on the 70-30 split.
That's our standard split that in years past.
Yes, sir. Well, that's the standard. Yes, sir. That is the split across the board for all the coverages.
Was this included in our budget?
No, ma'am. It was not, Commissioner Hambrick.
We tried last year to change the calendar year and fiscal year, but we didn't get that bidding done in time. So this comes back halfway through our calendar year, our fiscal year.
This particular fee has been in place since 2014. It was suspended last year, but it will resume in 2018.
So if we wanted to lessen the impact to our top retirees who are living on a fixed income, we would have to take a bigger cut, even 35, 65, or have we looked at any other numbers?
We have not, Chairman, but one thing I want to assure the board is that we are looking at a variety of things to present to for your consideration in the upcoming plan year. There are lots of cost strategies that we may be able to engage. So we are looking at a lot of different things. I promise you all publicly that it's not business as usual. We are looking at a lot of different options, out of the box, innovative options that we would like to bring before the board for your consideration.
We're gonna have that done for next budget cycle.
Yes, sir.
But the problem with this is we're lagging behind. We didn't put the two together.
Say again.
You're not on the same cycle.
You know, I know the cost of medical care is going up, and it's truly bothersome to me anyway that we impose such high premiums, and I know it's the cost of doing business on our employees and now on our retirees. We gotta find a better solution.
And one thing that in my studies, what I have found is that in the United States, over 56% of us depend on employer-sponsored plans. About 23% government funded, and only about 16% of individuals purchase their own individual policies. So employer-sponsored health care is very big and the biggest source for us as a nation.
Let me ask a question if you don't mind, and correct me if I'm wrong. Did we not most recently take a look at our brokerage services? Are you all totally dealing with the Medicare, this entire process on your own out of your office?
No, we have definitely involved the broker, Commissioner Warner. And as I said earlier, there's a lot of different things that we have on the table, and I'm not sure if this particular platform would be the best platform to start talking about things that we're working on. But I can assure the board that we are looking at a variety of things that will hopefully lower costs for our employees and for the county moving forward.
One thing I will say, and I hear it, and I've said it before I even got on this board, we do pay a lot of consultants, but it seems that the only thing I'm getting back is a definition of the problem. We got to come up with some solutions somewhere. And as a commissioner, I've been talking about the benefits for all the employees, the retired employees, as well as the current employees since I got on this board. We have got to have some solutions. To define the problem, it could be possibly half solved, but it's still only half solved.
Right.
We've got to come up with solutions.
I agree 100%, and that's why I'm so adamantly and publicly saying that we do have a lot of things, from health savings account to health reimbursement accounts, looking at the cost sharing techniques that are currently in place. So we are working on it. We are, and we'll have something to present to the board, some different options for the upcoming plan year.
Can you all please give us a time frame? Because again, I started this conversation at the beginning of the year. What is the time frame? Where are we in this process?
And once again, I don't know how much information to release in this particular platform, but if you want to have a private conversation of what we're doing, because I think some of the things that we're doing, it may not be appropriate to discuss it right now.
Right, I understand. All I'm saying is, where are we in the process to state to the people, because we took tonight to explain a problem, but where are we in the process in solving these problems?
The broker service commissioner, with regard to fixing the problem, we have a RFP that will be out on the street as we speak. The goal is to bring back a recommendation to the board by January, with the goal of having a new broker on board by February is the goal. The idea there is to ensure that that gives us enough time to onboard our new health benefit packages with our employees, so that when we go into our new budget cycle for FY19, we should have a new broker with additional benefits on top of that at that time.
Okay, and involved in that, would it be for them to take, as part of their scope of services, to look at even our retiree benefits and these costs that were presented to us this evening?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the proposed solution tonight?
Tonight was to
Just
bring forth
discussion
information,
only.
Discussion
If
only.
the board would like to move forward with an action item, the board certainly can do so. But our goal was to provide context to the board about what was the driver with the ACA costs, being primarily the market. That was the goal for Ms. Ambles to bring that forward to the board, so you will have additional information prior to you making a vote. And hopefully we were able to accomplish that through her presentation.
Okay.
So I have two things. Ms. Ambles, correct me if I'm wrong, or the Affordable Care Act mandates the county pay at least 50%. Is that correct?
Now, when
But
you
we're
say-
at 70.
When you say 50, what do you mean? What are we referring to? The contribution structure?
Yes, ma'am, the
The-
contribution or premiums, the costs.
The Affordable Care Act has, under the benefits mandates, two particular things. It has to offer, we have to offer minimum essential coverage, which means that we have to pay at least 60% of the total medical cost.
60, okay.
60%.
But we're paying 70.
But yes, sir. But that's a little something that's different. When it comes to the actual premiums, the ACA says that the premiums should not exceed 9.5% of our lowest wage earner's salary. So the contribution structure that we have in place is far above what the ACA requires.
Above.
Yes, sir, it is.
So we're good in terms of compliance.
We are.
Okay. And then the second question I have is the timeline. There was a conversation last calendar year about rebidding these policies. They came back, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we had the same providers at the same prices, so nothing happened. From then until now, has there been any other work with our staff or with our brokers or anything about doing that? Or is this just another day, another year, the same thing rolling over? I guess that lends a little bit to Ms. Warner's point. Where are we at on the process? Anywhere?
And I'll say, I'm glad that my COO said it. The reason I wasn't trying to be elusive when I said that I didn't know if this was a platform in which to speak on the issue of the consultant RFP, because I haven't had a conversation with our current broker to at least let them know that it's going out. So that's why I was being as transparent. Hopefully, as COO Stanford said, we will have someone in place January 1. We will start looking at a combination of things. Being self-funded is one thing that we need to look at, because I don't know how advantageous that is for me. Based on my research, I know it's very advantageous for like employers who have organizations in different states. So it's very advantageous for them. I would like for our consultant to take a look to see how advantageous that is for us. We would like to put out another RFP if the first of the year. That is one of the tasks that the consultant will be given right off the bat.
Excuse me, Chair, if I can say in all fairness, let me make this statement, and it's not to go back and forth. But I was asked when I first came on, what do you think we should do, in all fairness to you? And I stated what we should do. But unfortunately, this board as a whole was not ready to move into what we should do. So now I kind of feel like we almost are at the point to where we've got to do something. You all are doing the best that you can. I want you to understand, I know that. But this board, we've got to step up and make some decisions that, unfortunately, it's a coulda, woulda, shoulda situation. And I stated on this board when I first came on that even though I'm new, this is the area of expertise. So in all fairness to you, even though you had that question directed to you, I know that you've done the best that you can, and you're not able to move without the directive of this board as a whole. But I'm only one. And I asked this board to take a look at this back in April. So I'm saying it on record that I commend you for doing what you're doing, and I hope that we can get where we need to be. But we're behind the 8 ball when it comes to these benefits. And I don't know what else to do.
Any other questions, statements? Thank you, Ms. Adams.
Thank you.
Item number 13, this is the 2017 Byrne Memorial Grant. It's listed for public comment. Mr. Attorney Chuck Reed, if you would please come forward to facilitate.
Item number 13 is the request from the County Police Department. They're in the process of applying for funding through the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant FY 2017 Grants Local Solicitation Program. This is a grant that's administered by the Bureau of Justice Assistance, U.S. Department of Justice, and the purpose of these programs is to provide funds to units of local government to promote projects to reduce crime and improve public safety. And one of the prerequisites is that the citizens have an opportunity to comment on the police department's 2017 JAG grant application. And as the proposals for the police department is to receive $106,677 to support the purchase of tasers, ammunition, firearms, and to help the officers become better prepared to protect the citizens of Clayton County. And there's no requirement to expend tax dollars. So I guess if there's any public comment.
Yeah, so this is a public comment item, so if there's any citizens or anyone who would like to speak in reference to this grant, this would be the time to come forward in reference to equipment and other purchases that the police department is requesting. All right, well, hearing and seeing none, we will move on. Do we need a motion to close out the public comment?
I believe so.
All right, is there a motion to close out public comment? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Do you want to vote on 13, or do you want me to just include all of that, 13 in?
You mean item 14?
I'm sorry, 14. Do you want me to take 14?
Yeah, I want you to
through?
take them all together except for item resolution 2017-75 and 76. Take the rest of them together, please.
Okay.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Any others?
Did there
Is
need
this
to be
where
an
the
actual
20 and
vote?
21 are? The Kaiser and the Williamson Road,
Yes, that will,
No, that's
that'll be
zoning.
after. That's
Zoning
zoning.
request.
it just says number 20.
Zoning petition.
I don't have a zoning
Oh, they're not
petition in my book.
petitions. She's
There's
just
no
asking
petition.
permission.
I'm just going by what's
Yeah, I
listed here.
It's not a petition. Kimberly, your items are just asking permission for those items, right? Yes.
Okay.
And that's not part of what Chuck's reading.
No, I'm going to read 14, 15, 18,
And
and 19.
Okay. Thank you.
sorry.
I don't have any problems with that.
Attorney Reed, did there need to be an approval of the Byrne Memorial Grant, or was that sufficient?
I bel
Was that sufficient? The public
Okay, I
comment?
think it's just a public comment.
Thank you.
Okay, please proceed.
Ordinance 2017-73 is an ordinance to amend the Code of Clayton County, Georgia, as amended specifically to amend Chapter 14 Animals, Article 6, Responsible Dog Ownership Law, Section 14-137, Appointment of Dog Control Officer, to repeal conflicting laws, ordinances, and resolutions, to provide for severability, to provide for effective date of this ordinance, and for other purposes. Ordinance 2017-74 is an ordinance to amend the Code of Clayton County, Georgia, as amended specifically Code of Clayton County, Georgia, Chapter 42, Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 2, Fire Prevention Code, Section 42-40 Fees, and Chapter 42, Fire Prevention and Protection, Article 3, Automatic Sprinkler Systems, Section 42-63, where installed, to repeal conflicting laws, ordinances, and resolutions, to provide severability, to provide an effective date, and for other purposes. Resolution 2017-77 is a resolution authorizing Commissioner Felicia Franklin Warner to partner with Women of Clayton County Public Schools, and Clayton County Library System for Good Night Clayton Reads Initiative, sponsored by Georgia's own credit union. Item 19 is a request from Clayton County Fire and Emergency Services to request the Board of Commissioners approve a new program that would allow citizens the opportunity to properly dispose of prescription medications. Further, to authorize the chairman to execute any agreements, otherwise perform all acts necessary to accomplish the intent of the agreement, to authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect the appropriate revenue source and expense. All this may be required under the terms of the agreement.
All right, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Mr. Chair. I'm
Commissioner.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but, item number 15, ordinance 21774, Chief Murkison, just briefly, I really think this is very important so that the public knows. If you can just briefly tell some of what this would accomplish. I think this is a very important. I don't know if this happened with those houses in Rex last week, but it's a very important thing.
Sure, absolutely. So one of the things that we've done as a result of the board retreat earlier last year was to go back through and do a comprehensive review of all of our codes and ordinances as it relates to fire protection, new development, and new businesses that are coming into county. So a lot of this is the result of that, and then going back and looking also at developments that's been made in construction and then what we can do to better protect our houses. Part of this was going back and looking at some of our neighborhoods and how close those homes are built together, and then looking at ways to better protect those. As you know, the fire that we had up in your district just a couple weeks ago, the first house started and the two on either side quickly got going. But part of that is the closeness of them and the materials that those are being constructed out of. So what we're trying to do is do a comprehensive review of our ordinances and prevent those issues from happening in the future, to try and better protect those citizens in those single-family residences where we can. So this is the starting point for that.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, Chair. I apologize. No, thank you, Chief. And I want to say thank you for all that you've done, because I'm looking forward to us being able to get more involved with one of our cities, City of Lovejoy, that we are providing fire services to. But thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
Chief.
wanted the women of Clayton County to please stand before they leave, or before they left. And I think our president ended up having to walk out, as well as our school board folks that are here. They're there. I'm not going to say a whole long, but you just heard our superintendent earlier talk about the strides we've made as a community. There are strides that we've made, but we have a long way still yet to go. And I want to thank the women of Clayton County and the school board for partnering with the community to make this initiative happen. We're so excited about Goodnight Clayton, and we're going to get our community reading again, get our families back home, doing something that's going to continue to improve those scores collectively. So I just wanted you all to stand, and I think the president just walked in, the women of Clayton County, as well as our school board. This is going to be a fabulous initiative, and the first event takes place on the 16th.
Next, the Kaiser petition. Who's going to present that? Jack?
Resolution 75 and 76.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I think 2017, 75 and 76, you wanted to handle separately, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, sir. If I could also ask you, and we can do it whenever you direct in conferring with Major Godfrey on item 13, he indicates to me that the original request requires that the board authorize the application for the Byrne Memorial Grant following the public hearing. You've conducted the public hearing, so I'd ask you, in addition, and I'll be glad to make, for that purpose, a motion to authorize the application for an acceptance, if granted, the 2017 Byrne Memorial Grant under the terms outlined in the agenda. They do need for you to vote on that.
Okay, so let's do that now.
All right,
So
sir.
I'll place that in the form of a motion to accept the Byrne grant on the behalf of the Clayton County Police Department. Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Chair.
Any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you, sir. Item number 16, which is Resolution 2017-75, is a resolution finding the existence of one or more pockets. Okay, they being, okay. Then what Mr. Reed's saying is that we'd ask you to consider 76 first, so if you don't mind, I'll do that first. I'm going to explain both of them to you and why they're there and what is occurring. But 2017-76 is a resolution designating an urban redevelopment area to describe the pocket of blight as defined by urban redevelopment law, to repeal any resolutions in conflict with this resolution, to provide an effective date of this resolution, and for other purposes. What is going on with both of these two resolutions is the Urban Redevelopment Authority is in the process of refinancing an existing bond issue that they have covering certain areas and certain projects in the county. The result of that is going to be some additional funds being available for additional projects. And these two resolutions simply expand the areas of the county in which those projects can be performed, and that money can be used. That's all that's going on here. Is we're just expanding that area so that we can allow those funds as they come in to be used in other areas of the county than what had previously been designated.
Where was it previously designated, sir?
Commissioner, if I'm not badly mistaken, the original designation was predominantly over in the Ellenwood area. This expansion moves it farther to the west and to the south. I think it takes in areas in both the west and the southern part of the county in the expansion, so that it allows those projects, or that money, to be used for projects in all of those areas.
I think we hold it till we get specific information.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Where is this money? You said we're rebonding?
Yes, sir. They're refinancing existing debt, which is going to result in, I believe, about $2.5–3 million of savings or of additional funds to be used from that refinance process.
You see that smile over there?
I'm sorry, say that again now?
It's over for $3 million. Jack is correct.
What'd you say? You was making a response to who?
Yes, Commissioner was asking to confirm. I said yes, and the over's of about $3 million.
Going to save the county $3 million.
Well, it will generate $3 million more than it originally had been planned that can be spent in these other areas.
Okay.
And we're expanding the areas in which it can be spent in.
Okay, again, specifically to Commissioner Warner's question, what areas are we talking about expanding specifically, if you know that?
If I can get the resolution has those areas on it. I know it is moving to the west, the northwest part of the county, and there was an area in the southern part of the county. Those were the areas that were included in that.
So that's Commission District 2 and 3.
3. Yeah, I thought that was right. But yeah, there are areas that are included in both of those two, which had not originally been included in the area defined.
Are there any other questions? All right. I don't think have we taken a motion on it yet? We saw these
Yeah, it was
questions.
motion and second.
All
It's
right,
on
those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
And Resolution 2017-75 is a resolution finding the existence of one or more pockets of blight as defined by law to exercise and allowing the exercise of the power conferred upon the county by urban redevelopment law to rehabilitate, conserve, or redevelop such pockets of blight as required in the interest of public health, safety, and welfare, to repeal any and all resolutions in conflict with this resolution, to provide an effective date of the resolution, and for other purposes. And the reason we should have put them on here the opposite way is you define the area of the blight by 76. 75 just authorizes this savings to be expended for improvements within those areas. That's all it does.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Any statements? Here, none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Okay. Item number 20 and item number 21, we'll discuss them separately, but let me tell you what they are. Item number 20 and 21 are requests coming from the Planning and Zoning Department for the board to initiate the process of rezoning on its own motion of two separate parcels. The first one is actually a variance request, is number 20. What occurred was, and this all was precipitated by originally the 2008 rezoning, and then with regard to item number 20, the most recent rezoning, it was after the most recent zoning ordinance was passed, it was determined that Kaiser Permanente owned a parcel of land adjoining their existing facility over in the Mount Zion area. They had placed two modular training centers on that. There had previously been located temporary buildings on that. It was determined that that property, number one, was rezoned to O&I, which may or may not have been consistent with what their plans are. The purpose of this request is simply to allow them on a temporary basis to have, and again, you're not making a decision on this. All you're doing is initiating the process to allow this to go through, go before the Board of Zoning Appeals, and then subsequently come back to you. The ultimate question would be whether or not they'd be granted a variance to allow those two temporary facilities to remain in that location for 18 to 24 months, which would give them the time that they need to do two things. Number one, they're attempting to acquire other parcels around the area that they're zoning or that they own and that they have their development on. The purpose of that is going to be, we anticipate, and what they had represent is going to be a significant expansion of their current campus. If they do that, once they acquire that property, then they will have to come back to you, file a rezoning request to include the subject property as well as anything else they require or they acquire from whatever else it is presently zoned to medical mixed use, which would make it include it within their campus. Again, that's the long-range plan that they have. The limited purpose of this is to allow them to initiate the process to consider whether you will allow them to keep the temporary modular buildings that they have there that they're using for training facilities where they are during that period of time. So this is just to start that process is all this one is. And you're just giving the department the authority to start the process. Again, you would make the ultimate decision at the end of the process, which is our standard zoning process. Advertisement, Board of, it would go to the ZAG, whole 9 yards.
Okay.
All right, well, is there a motion to allow them to do so?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And the final one is for two parcels on Williamson Road, and they are parcels that it was determined were actually rezoned in 2008 to heavy industrial. They are parcels that are being presently used as residential. That one of them is a 5-acre tract, the other one is a little bit smaller tract. The property owner has come in and requested that they be rezoned to what they were used for. And this would, again, on the board's motion, initiate the process of moving that forward. Again, it will come back to you for an ultimate decision, but that is what this is.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you, sir. We do need an executive session for litigation matters and personnel. Thank you.
Okay. All right, next we have our board appointments. We have 4. First appointment is to the Board of Appeals to fill the unexpired term of John Derek Young, who resigned. The term expires on December 31st, 2018. It's an alternate seat for board appointment. Is there a motion?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Warner.
Yes, sir. I would like to recommend Dr. Anderson, Dr. Henry Anderson.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Me too. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
What was that? Yes, ma'am.
I would like to recommend Ms. Gloria McLean.
Ms. who?
Gloria McLean.
Gloria McLean. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
No questions. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
It's 3-2, it passes. Next appointment is to the Board of Health to fill the unexpired term of James M. Wood Jr. He resigned. So one term, one full term. The term expires on December 31st of 2023.
I'd like to make a recommendation for Mr. Robert Dolphin.
Who made that motion?
That would be Commissioner Franklin Warner.
Is there a second? I'll second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Next appointment is also to the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities, Region 3 Advisory Council to fill the expiring term of Jody Chambers. Term is 3-year, expiring on November 30th, 2020. Full board appointment. Any nominations? I'm gonna make a motion to reappoint Jody Chambers. Is there a second?
A second.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. The last one is also for the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities, Region 3 Advisory Council, to fill the unexpired term of Dr. Angelita Howard, who resigned. The term expires on February 28th, 2018. Full board appointment. Any nominations?
Does that one have to be a doctor or?
No,
or
it doesn't.
Just ask.
Any nominations?
We need more info.
Hearing none. Madam Clerk, we'll hold that till next week.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner.
our youth commission is here, and I'm sorry we kept y'all so late. Y'all got school tomorrow, but they've been so awesome.
They've
And
learned a lot.
They are, and they stay very, very busy. And I would just also like to say, you know, Ms. Horn and her staff, they are doing a phenomenal job with these youth. And a lot of young people are now wanting to be a part of it, and they're just doing good. And thank you guys for being here.
Yeah, and I know it gets old to you, but stand up. Y'all stand up and take a bow. Again, thank y'all for being here and for what you do.
They are always out and about, and they continue to do their work. Some of them are dual enrolled, so they do a great job.
All right, thank you. Madam Clerk, that concludes our agenda for this evening. I'll take a motion to go into executive session.
And Mr. Chairman, that's for litigation and personnel.
Yes.
So move.
Is there a second? I'll second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It's unanimous. Have a good evening, everyone. Madam Clerk, you ready? All right, motion to reconvene.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Mr. Reed.
I have 4 settlement agreements and 1 request to enter into agreement. Would you like me to do all the settlement agreements together?
Keep them all together, yes.
Okay, all together, okay. I have a settlement agreement between the county and Gary Hargrave in the amount of $225,000 relating to an accident that occurred on February 27, 2015 at the intersection of Georgia 138 and Autumn Woods Drive in Clayton County. I also have a settlement agreement between the county and Marie Hargrave in the amount of $75,000 for an accident that occurred on February 27th, 2015 at the intersection of Georgia 138 and Autumn Woods Drive in Clayton County. I also have an agreement between the county and Jamonte Ballard Mack in the amount of $35,000 for an incident that related to the use of force, as well as arrest and imprisonment on or about April 1st, 2013 at or near 11645 Cades Trail in Hampton, Georgia. I have a settlement agreement between the county and Latasha Sims in the amount of $11,500 for an automobile accident that occurred on February 20th, 2016 at or near Terra Boulevard, 0.2 of a mile north of Edgemore Lane in unincorporated Clayton County. And I also have a request that the county enter an agreement with Napoli and Shikolnik, PLLC of New York, Lexington Avenue, and the law offices of Ricky Wilkins for the purpose of representing the county in litigation relating to the prosecution of an illegal claim against manufacturers and distributors of opioids arising out of the manufacturers and distributors' fraudulent and negligent marketing and distribution of opioids, as well as requesting that the chairman execute any agreement relating to that retainer.
All right, do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second? I'll second. Are there any questions on any of the items? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.